I'm a big believer of goals. I do believe every person should themselves goal because it's the only way how we grow, how we evolve, how we're going forward. If you don't set out goals, you're kind of like a boat in the open water. You're kind of like at the mercy of the currents in the water or the winds. And that doesn't really get you where you need to be. And goal setting is definitely not easy, right? Many may have tried it in the past and you failed, but what's the alternative? Not setting goals? And setting goals actually doesn't mean that you achieve the goals you set out to be, right? It could be that you discover America even though you thought you discovered something else. But the alternative of just being home, staying home, doing nothing, seems not acceptable to me. And so having intentions doesn't help much. Like for example, me when I moved from Switzerland here to Redmond, I set out, I told my wife, like, hey, I really want to be connected in the local community, start giving back. I don't want to be that person that kind of like just does their own thing or does a mini Switzerland in Redmond, but actually get out there. Now we're 3 years later and I actually haven't done much. It was great intentions, but it was never a goal. Now, when you set goals, it's important that your goals are achievable. You shouldn't have too crazy goals, but it should be a challenge to achieve it. But even more importantly is to have a plan, how you're going to achieve that goal. And then equally important, of course, is that you are being accountable. How do you keep yourself accountable? Now, my way is to blast it to you, to the internet, to the public and say, these are my goals. But that doesn't have to be that it's the same to you. It could be to your best friend or to your family, to your significant other, whatever the person is that can help you stay the course, kind of like your personal trainer for your goals you set out for the year. Now for the community part, to getting plugged into the community, I decided to sign up for what is called the Community Police Academy from the police department here in Redmond, which is a 12-week course. Every Thursday, 3 hours, we get to understand the challenges, the jobs police officers do here in the community and see firsthand kind of like what is happening, where there's a need and maybe how we can actually give back. But I also decided to sign up for being a mentor or volunteer in the Big Brother, Big Sister program, which is something that is nationwide, that I think it's an awesome opportunity to get to know one of these awesome kids in this area, in this community, learn from him and just spend quality time with that person together and grow together going forward. Those are the areas that I'm doing. Now, I also believe you shouldn't have too many goals, right? It's hard to keep track of them. So for myself, I basically look at 5 areas, 5 objectives or 5 categories that I want to invest in. And this is the first one. And so we're going to talk through all of these. And then in the end, I will reveal a project I'm working on. It's not ready to launch, but stay tuned. And if you stay on all the way to the end, you'll hear first what else we got cooking and hope to launch next year. So let's move on to the next goal. With regards to learning and developing new things, I'm still a big fan of reading, and while I do feel like I failed last year to develop a habit of regularly reading, while I read my annual target, I definitely did not develop a habit. So this year, my goal is to split it into twice 30 minutes every week to get on fixed days, to get that habit going or start a habit, or that it becomes a habit so I can keep on expanding my horizon. This year truly has been a year of bike riding. I accomplished my first target, updated my target, crushed that target again. And so as I'm going into this year, I looked very critical what is a realistic target, because I don't expect to get quite as much biking into, just given where we are with my new role, etc. And so what I did is breaking it down again to weekly targets. And so what I did is I increased my 50-mile target from last year to 65 miles. So basically a bit more than 100 kilometers per week for my European watchers. But I also looked that for the first time I could crush the 200,000 feet of climbing in 1 year. That means to achieve that I have to do a bit over 3,500 feet every week, which is gonna be a challenge specifically in winter, as most of the trails I ride, because I don't ride on the street during the winter months to stay safe, don't have that many climbs. And so I found one variation where I can climb up all the way to the Microsoft campus to get me some extra miles every time I get out there. There's a route that my neighbor does with me, which has a respectful number of climbs. And so with all that together, I hope I can achieve that, and would definitely be the first time in my life. And so it's still double-digit growth, and even I myself are looking forward to see as I'm tracking go this against my set goal in the next year. And now let's go back upstairs in the studio. Another area that is important to me is my vlogging and how I can share some of the experiences, learnings that I make as I'm navigating through the industries, hear about the latest and greatest innovation, what I think is very impactful, but also maybe share some product reviews that I purchased so you don't make the same mistake, or you know what to get your friends or your family when there's a birthday or just cause because you wanted to. Now, this year I made 52 vlogs. This is actually number 52 for the year 2021. And so next year, this has been a challenge this year with traveling and other things, and it was a limited traveling given the ongoing pandemic, but I wanted to give myself more time, and therefore I reduced it basically to 2 vlogs a month versus the 4 vlogs a month. And since I really missed the achievement of how many subscribers I have, I am actually taking a film class just now in January, trying to make my content more engaging and hopefully more interesting to you. If you have, again, any topics or things you would like me to cover, please leave that in the notes. I'm happy to look at that, but as a goal or as a key results that I measure for this year is to have 2 vlogs a month, which should bring me to 24 vlogs over the year. I think that should be achievable. Again, I want to beef up my content game and make it more engaging. That's why I'm doing the class, and I hope again that you like it and that I see that reflected in the subscriber numbers. Now, I mentioned in the beginning that I will tease up a project I'm working on, which is with a former colleague and good friend, Albert. We actually never met in person. He lived in Georgia, Atlanta. He's actually just about to relocate. He left Microsoft and is joining another organization. And with him, we have talked about so many topics and impact of technology innovation to us as a society, right? Like the opportunity innovation can bring, but also the dangers that it introduces for us as society. And we are both very passionate about that. We believe, people that are not in the tech sector, people that don't get to work with technology every day, they may are not aware of it or don't fully understand it. And since this is a rather complicated topic, I'm working on a podcast with him. So it wouldn't be like a vlog, which I try to keep short, but it will be in the podcast format. And we're really targeting people like my parents I have in mind, but just people that are not working with technology every day to kind of like shed a light on what this technology or this piece of innovation could mean, or the impact it has for us as a society, if it's good or bad, and try to make it a topic that we as a society actually talk about and address. It shouldn't be fear-mongering by any means, but really like a transparent and to take from two people that spent the majority of their life in this sector. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, thank you for being part of keeping me accountable for this year's and the goal I set out for myself. If you feel like it, feel free to send me your goals, and I'll give my best to try to keep you accountable. Just put it in the comments of this video. And if you haven't yet, please consider to subscribe to my channel. I would highly appreciate that. And again, if you have any ideas for topics or otherwise, just tell me. I'm happy to integrate whatever I can into my future vlogs, and I do hope you liked today's format, which was a little bit different, a little bit more effort to actually produce it, but it was easier because I was on vacation. And then with the film class I'm taking, and I'll share it in the link in case you want to sign up yourself, that I can make more engaging content for you all. So thank you, and talk to you in the new year, and I do wish you an amazing start into 2022. And with that, D. Divkurt out.